It is the penultimate round of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship here at Hampton Downs. You heard the commercial there a moment ago. It will all wrap up, of course, at Topor as a part of the Supercars round in a few weeks' time. We cannot wait for that. Greg Raston, Ronan Murphy with you in commentary for this one. And we take the results of yesterday, Ronan, and we change up the grid for this one, don't we?
Yeah, we flipped the script a little bit, Rusty, and we reversed the top 10 result from yesterday to set the top 10 grid for today. But as we look at the circuit here, Hampton Downs, 2.7K, six-corner circuit with about 10 metres of elevation. We saw some great passes, especially by Hugo Allen down at turn 4 and 5 yesterday, so those are going to be the places to watch. Obviously, you want to get a really good run out of the final corner, up the front straight, try and get a bit of a toe down towards turn 1.
A couple of things to come out of Saturday's race. Obviously, a drama for Harry Townsend. He dropped down the order, some repairs there on on the transmission front, obviously, and a similar story for Chris White, who is off the front row of the grid today. This is a great chance for the rookie, who's been one of the stars of this year's championship.
Yeah, great young talent is Chris White Jr. driving for James Marshall Motorsport. Yeah, he did have some bad luck with gearbox issues, as did a few others, you say, including our race leader, Josh Bethune.
Arthur Braun, I seem to recall that he had a reasonable weekend the last time we were here at Hampton Downs. He's out of 3 for this one alongside Hayden Backris. It's Jet Murray on pole. Zach Blinko is out of position 5 alongside Mason Potter. This is a field, let me tell you, of A-list talent. Hugo Allen is in very much the fight for the title here. Josh Bethune beside him, great day out for Josh yesterday, or pretty reasonable one, I should say. Jack Westbury out of 13, the Aussie. Mac Templeton has made the step from Mazda RX-8 competition, where he's been doing a very good job, and it's an early investment, if you will, in next year's championship, getting used to the cars, the style of competition, and there was a bit of learning in all of that yesterday for him, wasn't there? So
yeah, absolutely. There's a bit of a school of hard knocks, but Mac did a great job to drive back through the field. He made some good passes and move himself back up towards that sort of front half of the field, and he's coming out of 14 today. So yeah, obviously doesn't get much better in terms of preparation for the coming season, next season, than to do a couple of rounds of this year's the inaugural championship for the Bridgestone GR86 Cup.
And there's the Napa Auto Parts entry of Justin Allen, out of 10 after the race win yesterday, one of the more experienced campaigners in this field, and that's great for the youngsters that are taking part in it to be able to benchmark themselves against someone like him. Did a very good job in the Napa Auto Parts entry from the top end of the points ladder, if you will. Hayden Backris and Hugo Allen. It was a few extra points in the bank for Allen in the chase for Backris, but Backris starting ahead of him in this race. So
we're not too far away from a green flag start, but going to be interesting, this one. Obviously, this top 10 reverse, there's going to be some very fast cars at the back of the top 10 there, Rusty, that are going to be trying to move their way forward. Also, keep an eye out for the likes of Simon Hunter, Cormac Murphy and Jack Westbury. They're just outside the top 10 there, as well as Mac Templeton. They'll be looking to also try and move forward.
It's the new generation of the Colt car from Toyota, the 86, and brand new rubber underneath them too, with Bridgestone coming on board as the control tyre supplier for this year's season. Lights are coming on. When they extinguish, we will go racing. Race 2 of the weekend. Nice start by Jet Murray. What does White Jr. do in response? In fact, it's a better start by White Jr. He might be able to sweep around and take the lead. They'll go side by side. White Jr. gives good room, maybe a little touch. Who's going to get across to turn 2? Murray's fighting hard here, and Jet Murray is going to hold on to it.
And it was good heads-up driving there from Chris White Jr. He was going to try and turn him, but he saw that Murray wasn't going to yield, and he managed to get through there cleanly, slot back in a second.
Oh! And around! They've gone!
That's Mason Potter at Syndicate Motorsport and Zach Blinko from Mackenzie Motorsport, 2 cars there. That looked like actually got a little nudge from Hugo Allen. There was a lot of cars moving around left to right across the track there, and that didn't end so well for those 2 guys.
The high shot was really telling. There was a bit of a touch. It started to amp up, if you will, and then that was the end result. We'll have a look at that later. We've got to focus on what's happening at the front here. Jet Murray, Chris White Jr., and I have a feeling Arthur Braun might be up to 3rd.
Yeah, exactly right. Mac Templeton's done a great job to pass Cooper Barnes there, who finished 2nd yesterday in yesterday's race. Josh Bethune's now trying to look up the inside of the centre safety car. So
Zach Blinko, I think that was it facing the wrong way there a moment ago? We'll double check that. I'm not sure.
There was too much action to even
Wasn't
call
there?
just then, Rusty. That was a hectic start to that race, and I'm sure we'll be seeing some investigation into what's happening there. Yeah, that's Zach Blinko, the number 90 car. So he did a really good job yesterday. Really disappointing there for him to have not managed to get round after this first lap. But I'm sure we'll be able to see a replay pretty soon as we do. So this is a replay of the start. Hugo Allen got a brilliant launch. So did Chris White Jr. off the front row there. He just had to, at some point, probably not enough to clear Jet Murray, and he's actually had to then yield a little bit, give him the space, but he's still got a good run out of there. These two got a far better start than everybody else and actually pulled a decent gap to the rest of the trailing pack. And then just there we saw he turned in, gave him the room. They got through there nicely, but then it was what happened in this pack just behind that really unfolded. So we see there, Hugo Allen, Mason Potter and Zach Blinko had a bit of a touch.
Oh!
Yeah, so he's almost looked like that touch unsettled the number 90 car, and he's checked up. Hugo Allen hard up the gas, didn't really have anywhere to go, and he's given him a little nudge. So I'm sure that'll be under investigation. But again, when you're racing that close nose to tail, it is sometimes hard to be able to react that fast because that all happened very quickly.
Great driving by both Murray and White. That was some really, I mean, a little bit of contact, but some really fair stuff in the way that they tackled those first few corners. That was good.
Yeah, 100%. They did a great job to get away a little bit, and they actually separated themselves from the rest of the field. So Jet Murray, the young Australian, brother of Cooper Murray, obviously,
yep,
who's making his debut season in the Supercars Championship for Erebus Motorsport. So he's doing a great job out the front, no doubt. Cooper's probably watching back over the ditch on the live stream, but. We look back, Arthur Braun's got the fastest lap of the race so far.
He was pretty energised on that opening lap, picked up a spot, didn't he? So,
And Arthur Braun was on the pole last time we were here at Hampton Downs on the international circuit. It was the only car to break into the 1:48s that weekend, so he's clearly pretty pacey around here. Himself, Arthur Braun and Matt Templeton were actually racing Mazdas here last weekend, so those guys have been keeping up the seat time.
Fit.
Yeah, exactly right. Never a bad thing when you can do some more laps, and as we see there, Matt Templeton's put everything into practice. He's sitting there at ninth, so great job from him.
Yeah.
I think Simon Hunter, actually, we saw on the exit of turn 5 on that opening lap, he got a bit of dust out of exit of 5, so maybe just ran a little bit wide. He dropped a spot to Cormac Murphy there, who's moved up into 11th. So Cooper Barnes, out of those front guys, probably didn't get the best of starts. He's still sitting there in 10th, whereas the likes of Hugo Allen, Josh Bethune and Justin Allen have all moved up a few spots.
And let's keep a little watching brief from the overall championship perspective too. What about it? Baccaris and Allen, 4th and 5th respectively. Ronan's already put a little question mark on what will come of the review of this incident here that's unfortunately seen Zach Blinko on the trailer no longer taking part. Hello. Now, there is someone who's really good to have in your corner, hey? So, a lot of experience, and that man has now switched it, Johnny McIntyre, to being able to help Arthur Braun in an engineering sense, a coaching sense. They've got a good combination working together, and he worked well with, we had Tom Bewley with us very briefly on the broadcast. He worked well with Tom, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Bottles of experience down there in that pit garage for sure, and obviously Arthur Braun doing a great job so far. But as we said, it's when you're fighting for a championship and you're driving hard like we saw with Tom Bewley last year, but with this year obviously it's between Hayden Baccaris and Hugo Allen, and obviously that opening lap melee there down towards turn 4 will no doubt be a talking point. But as we see it again, and again, it's so hard.
The second pack, yeah.
Yeah, so that tap actually between Mason Potter and Zach Blinko unsettled Blinko, and his car sort of propped up for a second there, and Hugo Allen's already right up behind him, and then unfortunately given him a nudge, probably didn't have time to react. So how they deem that one after they look at it, who's to say? Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
So a bit of activity here. We pause, and we'll go racing again very shortly in this, and we have another race to come your way this afternoon. So the question mark now for the team for Zach Blinko is, can they get that car repaired for the final one today? I mean, we can't tell yet. We don't know what's happening underneath. You reckon we should hopefully get that car right for later this afternoon? We're going to go racing with Bridgestone GR86 at the bookend point of the day, if you will. So there's a bit of time to get that sorted. Yeah,
it doesn't look too bad. Maybe a steering arm or something like that. The front bumper, obviously, front fender looks a bit sad, but those things are just cosmetic and shouldn't be too hard to hard to repair, and obviously I'm sure the Mackenzie Motorsport team will be straight onto it and trying to get Zach's car ready for this afternoon. But as we go back to the on-track action, we won't be too far away from a restart here. The safety car lights are actually out, so I reckon we'll be getting a green flag start this time around.
Quickly, what do you do? Let's put yourself in Jet Murray or Chris White's perspective here. We've slowed down a little bit, pressure has come out, a little bit of temps come down. What do we need to do for a restart?
Oh, I think Chris White Jr. is going to be pretty hungry for another race. When I was talking to his dad earlier, and he's just really focused, head down, just trying to do a good job. And I think Jet Murray's obviously pretty desperate for a win as well. He hasn't taken home a first place yet in this championship, so those guys will be pushing pretty hard, as will Arthur Braun as well.
It's great to see some Aussies coming to play in this championship. Makes perfect sense over summer too, particularly if they're contesting the Australian series, and it keeps them a little, prepared and ready for that. We're underway again. White's under siege here from Arthur Braun. Settles back in the 222 into third place. Racing again in the Bridgestone GR86 series. They've got a little bit of space over Baccaris and Allen. Allen moves to the outside. Baccaris goes deep under brakes in fourth and closes a little on Arthur Braun in the process.
And I was about to say, Rusty, we can't forget that we literally have the battle for the championship there in fourth and fifth, as Josh Bethune's actually looking down the inside of Hugo Allen there. He's left the door open. He's managed to stay up on the outside there, so he's going to try and clear the 32 car, which looks like he's managed to do. So there's a bit of further back action going on. Hayden Baccaris has managed to pull. He's got a bit of reprieve from that battle going on between Hugo Allen and Josh Bethune.
Just keep an eye on that. And Allen's been able to get that back and has now positioned himself in such a way that Bethune can't get him at the dipper here. But Josh has got some speed, and look who's right behind him. Yesterday's winner, Justin Allen, in the Napa Auto Parts entry as well. So it's Murray from Chris White Jr., Arthur Braun unchanged there. Then the title combatants, if you will, in Baccaris and Allen at the top of the points ladder. Bethune and Justin Allen.
There's a good little battle going on between, you see, Jack Westbury leading that there, the young Australian, followed by Mac Templeton, Cooper Barnes, Cormac Murphy, Simon Hunter, and Emerson Vincent there just in behind him. So those guys are having a good battle of their own. Harry Townsend's leading the next pack of cars, as we see there. Jet Murray going defensive, and Chris White Jr.'s attacking the back of the 37 car. They've done what they did at the start on the... Oh, he's in the dirt. He's trying real hard, and Arthur Braun's just waiting for an opportunity to appear from these two fighting hard.
White Jr., like a boxer, throwing punches but not quite making contact. It's intimidating. White versus Murray. He's got the fastest lap of the race too, Chris White, so he's got some pace, and he wants to get this job done if he can to get by Murray, but it's proving difficult. Braun is right there too.
Yeah, and Murray's becoming a bit of a cork in the bottle here. He's struggling to pull away from Chris White Jr., and this is bringing Arthur Braun and the rest of the pack into this fight. As we see there, Cooper Barnes has managed to pass Mac Templeton and move up into ninth place there. Cormac Murphy's now on the back of him. As we go back to the front, Jet Murray still leading this race. He's done a great job to stay out ahead. He's managed to place the car in a good spot to keep Chris White Jr. at bay.
Nice shot from on high, and the way they float through that final corner. Keep the pace, keep the momentum. You cannot lose any ground there. You'll be pounced on if you do.
Exactly right. There's a great battle heating up between Hugo Allen, Hayden Baccaris, and Josh Bethune. Three championship protagonists all fighting hard. Josh Bethune's just set the fastest lap of the race with a 14.8. There was only 4 cars on the 14s on that lap, and Josh Bethune was the quickest of them all.
We're talking there hundredths of a second quicker than Jet Murray. So Murray's reacted to the pressure here from White Jr., and they've got a couple of car lengths now on Arthur Braun. So these two continue to go at it. No contact there. White's driving well, and he's making it very clear, isn't he?
And Hugo Allen's giving Hayden Baccaris a bit of a love tap there in the back out of turn 4. He's doing everything he can. He knows how important it is to try and displace his championship rival.
What was that in Days of Thunder? Remember me? little tap on the rear bumper, or fair play on what's in the background. Is that Thomas Mallard?
It looks like the number 8 car, the Thomas Mallard, who's turning 18 on Monday. Unfortunately, that's not the birthday present he would have been after. Got run off the road there by the looks of it, and he's unfortunately dropped to the back of the car.
Very popular member of the paddock. Lots of people wearing special Hawaiian shirts for his 18th birthday tomorrow, but that's not the way we want to celebrate it.
That actually almost looked like a tap from Cam Hill in the 43 car, and obviously those two.
Outside, not going to work there. Can he switch back underneath? Murray keeps it. but White has got pace here and he's getting frustrated. Looks left, looks right, can't do it. Change tact.
White Jr. is doing everything he can to try and get past that 37 car. Jet Murray is making that Lodge Bros GR86 as wide as he possibly can. And it's certainly not an easy job, and around a track like this as well, fast-paced, hard to make a pass. And he's doing everything he can. Hard to pass someone who's breaking layers. There, Hugo Allen's down the inside of Baccaris. He's got the move. Oh, they're going side by side. He's managed to pick up the power. Has he managed to clear him? This is going to be the thing. Baccaris is going to try to go back down the inside of Allen going down here.
Josh Bethune, look at this. On the inside as well.
They're going to go too wide.
Josh is going to get him here. Watch this.
Looking like it. He's on the outside. Hugo's put the power down. Can he clear Bethune? That was a really opportunistic move to try and make, but it may not have worked out too well here for Hugo Allen. He may end up letting Josh Bethune through.
Great battles in Bridgestone GR86. The strategy, the games you've got to play. Allen is in the mix here. Look at the Napa Auto Parts driver. He is right in the game now.
Yeah, this may have not worked out too well for Hugo Allen. He may have lost a spot to Justin Allen at the same time, but he's managed to clear him. Only just managed to stay ahead, so he lost one position out of that, but he's managed to funnel back into the train there and try and mitigate the damage.
The train is getting bigger. Is that Mac Templeton on the back of the group as well? So it's become, what is it, 5 odd cars now?
And Josh Bethune's down the inside of Baccaris now. This will be music to Hugo Allen's ears as he's going, catching back up to these two as they battle hard now. Back down. Baccaris is putting Josh Bethune on the outside there.
Up in front, we've got to change. We've got some issues for the Lodge Brothers entry too. It's back to third. New race leader, Chris White Jr. takes the lead, and Arthur Braun up to second.
The two young blokes have managed to put one over Jet Murray there, so something's happened there. We just missed it there out at the front. The battle between the guys for fourth place is still going on in the background. This is awesome racing. And we've seen a time penalty's just come out for the 222 car of Arthur Braun.
Arthur Braun's got a time penalty. So he's in position 2, but with a question mark. Back we go to this battle pack, and it is hot.
And Hugo Allen's going to try and take advantage of this. He's going to know full well that's his championship rival on the inside.
This is a fight. It's a title fight here. Look at him.
And Justin Allen, who's also in the title fight's now trying to go to the inside of him as well. So this is just crazy. Racing between these guys. They're going to try and make it too wide over the top of the hill here. They're still going too wide. He squeezes them up over the curb. Beautiful pass there from Hugo Allen.
Great racing, as we said before, and it's respectful. They've got the elbows out and they're into it, but it's a joy to watch this. It's played well into Josh Bethune's hands, that's for sure. Look at him, he's cleared them a bit here.
And I think Hugo Allen won't be too worried about what Josh Bethune's doing. The whole idea of this race for him would have just been to make as many spots, try and get past Hayden Baccaris, because those two have quite a gap to the rest of the field in the championship at the moment.
Okay, so...
Oh, and Mac Templeton, the rookie. First round this weekend, straight down the inside of Cooper Barnes. What a pass. That's almost reminiscent of what we saw him do in the Mazdas a couple of rounds ago here at Hampton Downs. Beautiful pass, opportunistic, and he took full advantage of the battling going on.
Chris White has cleared away here, so we could see before that he was getting frustrated, that he had the pace. A time penalty of some kind to be applied to Arthur Braun, who's second in the order, the two pack and save entries, and we're hearing it's a 5-second penalty for Braun. We'll get clarity on what the alleged breach is. A breach of safety car regulations, we're hearing. Breach of safety car regulation for Arthur Braun, 5-second penalty.
So you'd hope the team at James Marshall Motorsport will be making Chris aware that he doesn't have to, if he's got Arthur trying to push onto him and trying to force a mistake, he doesn't have to stress too much because he will have a penalty.
Haven't been shouting enough about Jack Westbury, that plain white car with everything that's been going on there. He's ahead of Justin Allen at the moment. That has been a very clever drive by Jack Westbury. Well done.
And unfortunate as well, Rusty, I think we've lost Cormac Murphy. He was up there in 11th or 10th around there, and he's actually in the pits now. So an issue of some sort for the car 81. Really disappointing for him.
Had an exhaust problem yesterday, despite knocking on the door of the top 10. So shame for Cormac. Back we go. Nearing the end of this race. White Jr. leading from effectively Jet Murray. and Josh Bethune. So final lap, last lap board is on display.
Yeah, Chris White Jr.'s driven faultlessly this race. He's really put on a good performance. He dealt with the challenge, which was Jet Murray, and managed to take the lead of the race. Arthur Braun's had a really good drive as well, but it's just got a little bit of an asterisk next to it with that penalty, obviously.
How's the dive bomb then from Justin Allen down the inside of Westbury? So it's a little struggle for us here in the commentary box because there's lots of action happening, as you can see here. Mac Templeton's right in the thick of it too. Look at him.
And he's now trying to. Justin Allen gives Jack Westbury a bit of a muscle out of the way, but Westbury's going to stay there. Mac Templeton's now going to try and follow him through as well on the inside there at the hip, and they're going to go too wide out of the corner. It's got to be a little bit careful there, Mac, not to muscle him too hard out of the way, but great job there. They've come out of there too wide and now heading back down the back straight for this final time.
Toyota 86 racing at its absolute best. Here we go. Final corner. This should be a redemption for Chris White after the dramas he suffered yesterday. Off the front row, was frustrated early on because he had pace, but he has converted. White Jr. wins it. Jet Murray will get second. The penalty kicks in, I think, for Arthur Braun. And Josh Bethune third. Allen ahead of Hayden Baccaris with a 1:14 lap at the line. That's important for the championship too.
Absolutely, and that was a stellar drive from Chris White Jr. there. The Tony Quinn Foundation scholarship winner, drive for James Marshall Motorsport there in the 88 car. He was certainly the pace setter in that race, and he drove a beautiful race to come away with the win.
The breach of safety car regulation, unfortunately for Braun, means he finishes down in 8th place. Here's the updated results for you. White Jr., congratulations, taking the win from Murray and Bethune in the top 3 there. A couple of other stories for you. In the end, Jack Westbury finishes in a fighting 6th place, but there was a bit going on there. Allen 7th. With the penalty, Braun is 8th. And Mac Templeton, that's a really solid outing there in 9th.
Yeah, brilliant job for him to get in the top 10. And talking to him about the weekend, he was hoping for, if he could be somewhere in the top 12 over the weekend, he was going to be pretty happy. So come home with 9th on his debut weekend of the championship's awesome. Box
Ticked. What can he do in the final one this afternoon? And that will be set by the fastest lap times from this race and race 1 earlier today, yesterday. Highlights for you. Final one of the week, or second last one, I should say, of the weekend in Bridgestone GR86 competition. Good fight between the Lodge brothers' entry of the pole sitter in Jet Murray and Chris White Jr. They went at it through the opening couple of corners, but it would be Murray who would take the early lead. Then this unfolded.
Yeah, and that again will be the sort of the talking point of the race, Rusty. We obviously will have to wait to see what the call is on that one. But going back to the front there, the restart, Jet Murray was doing a great job out front, trying to hold Chris White Jr. at bay. See a good battle going on there. Cormac Murphy in the battle with Cooper Barnes and Simon Hunter.
This continued here. Allen versus the 20 of Hayden Baccaris. They're fighting for the championship, and then it's on in earnest between them. Here you go.
And that was Arthur Braun getting pretty forceful there with Jet Murray. Good pass. And that's how they finished the pack and save cars 1 and 2, even though they're run by different teams. But great job there from Chris White Jr. Take the win. The James Marshall Motorsport number 88 car.
Cool story. Young man with a very bright future and recognised by the Tony Quinn Foundation. Great approach. Was nice and happy when I spoke to him this morning, despite the problems of yesterday. Has absolutely parked that and come out and done what he needed to do in this race today. And this championship fight is close too. Stephen.
Thanks, mate. Chris White Jr. is obviously needing some water after that one. That was a heck of a race. Jet Murray made that car pretty wide for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he did an awesome job defending it. We had some real good battling there at the start, but luckily enough, I was able to get through midway through the race after the safety car. But it's awesome to be able to get the win today after yesterday. We blew a gearbox during the race, so it really killed it for us, and we've been having a few bits of bad luck throughout the season, so it's awesome to be able to back it up this weekend and get it in the reverse top 10.
Just briefly, coming from the RX8, you know, that which is you were so good on, how challenging have you found the Bridgestone GR86 champ?
Yeah, it's so challenging. Instead of it being a few seconds over the whole field, it's 7/10, so it makes it entertaining, but it helps every driver to be better, so it's awesome. Like the Mazdas, they had the reverse top 10s as well, so I learned how to get it past a few cars doing that, so it's just an awesome step.
Well done, mate. Get ready for a podium.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, in P2, where's Jet Murray? Jet Murray leading for a while, looking very strong there. And, of course, there was a penalty applied to the driver in front of you, but, mate, well raced.
Thank you. It was a good race, hard racing out there. Everyone's so close. It was good. Got doored a couple of times, but that's racing.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the style of racing over this side, what do you make of it?
Oh, it's definitely a lot rougher than back over the other side. Yeah, rougher but funner, tighter. Everyone's so much closer. Like the gaps between the field are like 7/10 over the whole field, so it's really strong over here.
Congratulations on P2.
Thank you.
And Josh Bethune picked up the P3 yesterday as well. He's right behind me. Whew. Well, you're settling yourselves into P3 in the championship. You're not out of this battle yet, but crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's quite close at the top. Like, we did have a good battle with Hugo and Hayden, but yeah, just managed to get ahead and drive away.
Many challenges in that race for you?
No, it was pretty easy, to be fair. It was cruisy through the most part. We didn't get caught up in any of the mess, and yeah, we just had a good battle with Hugo and Hayden.
All right, well done, mate.
Thank you.
All righty, let's get onto the podium for race 2, round 5 for the Bridgestone GR86 Championship here at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park here in the Waikato. And the trophies today presented by Lerone Naddis, the wholesale manager for Bridgestone New Zealand. And in third position, Josh Bethune. In second position, give it up for Jet Murray. And your winner, here's Chris White Jr. And that is your official podium of race 2, round 5 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. One more round of applause for these 3 races.